1:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Geethanjali Ramnaikar. The headlines. President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that a well-planned program is underway targeting the economic development in the country. The Prime Minister thanked New Zealand for providing expertise for Sri Lanka's public sector reforms program. It has been stated that a value-added tax will not be charged for any essential items. CEB employees leave cancelled, circular issued. Island-wide operation nets 1,182 suspects in 24 hours. And in foreign news, Hamas deputy leader Saleh al-Arouri killed in Beirut blast. News in detail. President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that a well-planned program is underway targeting the economic development in the country. It is expected to strengthen the value of the rupee. He said he believes that although people are facing many difficulties economically, better results will be reached in the future. Measures have been taken to increase the salaries of the state workers by 10,000 rupees amidst many hardships. He made these comments at a ceremony held at the BMICH today. The outgoing New Zealand High Commissioner Michael Appleton paid a farewell call on Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena at the Temple Trees in Colombo yesterday. He thanked the government for its decision to reopen its embassy in New Zealand shortly. He said Sri Lanka has achieved remarkable recovery to face the COVID-19 challenges and the unprecedented economic crisis. He said when he arrived in Sri Lanka 3 years ago, the country was reeling under the impact of the COVID pandemic and he had to stay in a hotel room under quarantine. Now, at the time he's leaving, the tourists are arriving in large numbers as Sri Lanka has managed the crisis well. High Commissioner Appleton said he thanked the Prime Minister for the continuous cooperation extended first as the Foreign Minister and then as the Prime Minister during his tenure in Colombo. The Prime Minister thanked New Zealand for providing expertise for Sri Lanka's public sector reforms program. They held discussions on the bilateral relations between the two countries and the steps Sri Lanka is taking to overcome the current economic challenges, debt restructuring, trade and investment, and electoral reforms. Ambassador Appleton thanked Prime Minister for gracing the official opening of the New Zealand High Commission in Colombo. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena says that VAT will not be charged on essential items. Participating in the Das Desin Hatha program of the SLBC, he said that majority of the people are struggling to live. VAT will not be charged based on the primary goods. VAT cannot be charged before production procedure on tea plucking, rubber tapping and paddy cultivation. He further stated that it is the responsibility of the media to educate the people on VAT. Minister Ramesh Patrana says that Sri Lanka will be introduced by the WHO as a country that presents better health service on low cost. He made this remark at an observation tour at National Non-Communicable Disease Academy today. He held discussions with the staff as well. He also stated that the Health Ministry has implemented a program on district level to look into the shortages in hospitals and to provide speedy solutions for it. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The Minister of Agriculture and Plantation has decided to provide fertilizer needed for tea cultivation from the two government-owned fertilizer companies. The Sri Lanka Tea Board has given a loan for cultivators from the private sector to purchase fertilizer. The annual fertilizer requirement for the tea cultivation in the country is at 40,000 metric tons. Government will spend 6,080 million rupees, 6.080 million rupees in this regard. The Ceylon Electricity Board has issued a circular cancelling the leave of all employees of the board effective today until further notice. The circular was issued by CEB Acting General Manager Engineer Dr. Narendra G. Silva today. The decision was taken according to the provisions of the Extraordinary Gazette number 2363/02 published on December 18, 2023, marking all services connected to the electricity supply as essential public services by President Ranil Wickremesinghe. And that ends local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatma.
A total of 1,182 suspects were arrested within the last 24 hours during the island-wide Operation Yuktia, the public security minister said. They said that during this period, police recovered 287 grams of heroin, 5.4 kilograms of cannabis, 246 grams of ice, and 19,052 cannabis plants and several other narcotics. Among the 1,182 suspects arrested during the operation, 44 are being investigated under detention orders, while 138 of them are on the IRC list of the Police Narcotics Bureau. Additionally, 47 persons have been referred for rehabilitation. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Vedamahatmya.
This is Watchlight.
In Watchlight, the consumers have complained that the prices of consumer items in trade stalls are being sold at higher prices by changing the normal prices. This has caused severe injustice to the consumers, especially the school equipment which are being sold at higher prices in the areas of Hambantota, Suryawava, Mayurapura and Walava. This is for the attention of the officials of the Hambantota District Office of Consumer Affairs Authority, and that came to you in Watchlight.
Coming up, World News.
In the headlines, Hamas deputy leader Saleh al-Aruri killed in Beirut blast. North India shivers under the grip of cold wave. And Ukraine war, blast reported in Russia's city of Belgorod and occupied Crimea. Israel has insisted the assassination of Hamas leader in Beirut was not an attack on Lebanon, as its enemies warned of punishment for his death. An Israeli spokesman said Saleh al-Aruri had died in a surgical strike against the Hamas leadership. Hamas condemned the death, while its ally Hezbollah said it was an assault on Lebanese sovereignty. Lebanon's Prime Minister, meanwhile, accused Israel of trying to drag Lebanon into confrontation. Lebanese media report that Aruri, a deputy political leader of Hamas, was killed in a drone strike in southern Beirut along with 6 others, 2 Hamas military commanders and 4 other members. A severe cold wave has gripped parts of northern India, with temperatures falling below -5 centigrade or 23 Fahrenheit in Indian-administered Kashmir. Several regions, including India's capital Delhi, get enveloped in a thick layer of fog in early mornings and at night. Poor visibility has also caused disruptions in flight and train services, making it difficult for people to travel. India's weather department has said that the cold wave is likely to persist for the next couple of days. Loud explosions have been heard in parts of southwest Russia and occupied Crimea overnight. Russian officials say the border city of Belgorod, where 25 people were killed on Saturday, came under attack again, as well as Sevastopol in Crimea, where Ukrainian missile was downed. In recent days, the aerial war between Russia and Ukraine has intensified. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says Russia used some 300 missiles and 200 drones over 5 days. Back to the headlines of the world news. Hamas deputy leader Saleh al-Aruri killed in Beirut blast. North India shivers under the grip of cold wave. Ukraine war, blast reported in Russian city of Belgorod and occupied Crimea. And that ends world news. On to development news. Director General of Urban Development Authority, Prasad Ranavira, says that a group of officials of the Sabana company in Singapore will arrive in the island to prepare a municipal development plan. They will review all development zones in the country. And that was development news.
Moving on with sports news.
The third test match between the visiting Pakistan team and the Australian team commenced in Sydney today. Pakistan won the toss and batting first, scored 313 runs, and Australia were 6 runs for no loss short while ago. and they trail by 307 runs. And that was sports news.
Go ekakiyana youth ekata life eke change ekata niyameta set wenna as wahagena dagapu veena habe karanna youth ekata niyameta set wenna friendship ekata menna.
The all new NSB Itru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dreams.
Business news sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Ceylon Tenny Tea Limited, a pioneer among the new breed of companies that take the Ceylon tea brand to greater heights, bagged the Gold Award in the tea and tea products category, large scale, at the National Exports Awards 2023, organized by the National Chamber of Exporters, NCE. The award ceremony, organized by the NCC for the 31st consecutive year, was held at the Shangri-La Hotel recently, and that was business news.
Business news sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekakiyana youth ekata life eke change ekata niyameta set wenna as wahagena dagapu veena habe karanna youth ekata niyameta set wenna friendship ekata menna.
The all new NSB Itru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
On to economic news. The Agrarian Development Department says that the finances which were issued by the Treasury to purchase fertilizer for the Maha season have already been deposited to the bank accounts of the farmers. Accordingly, 5,000 million rupees have been issued to the accounts of 583,372 farmers. And that was economic news.
Weather report.
In the weather report, showery condition in the eastern and over provinces is expected to be reduced during today and the next 2 days. A few showers will occur in eastern province and in the Mihithalaya district. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in the Sabaragamuwa, southern, western and over provinces and in the Kandy and Nuwara Eliya district after 2 p.m. Fairly heavy showers above 50 millimeters are likely at some places in the Gaul, Matra and Ratnapura districts. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the western Sabaragamuwa and central provinces during the morning. And that was the weather update. And before we conclude, the headlines once again. President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that a well-planned program is underway targeting the economic development in the country. The Prime Minister thanked New Zealand for providing expertise for Sri Lanka's public sector reforms program. It has been stated that VAT will not be charged for any essential items. CEB employees, leave cancelled, circular issued. Island-wide operation nets 1,182 suspects in 24 hours. Foreign news, Hamas deputy leader Saleh al-Aruri killed in Beirut blast. Well, with that, we end this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation, and it's back to Satya on the other side to keep you entertained this Wednesday afternoon. Over to you, Satya.